What do you hear? What do you say? It's another Roblox day, and I'm here in the legendary world of Piggy. And yesterday I had a stream where I showed this thumbnail and this title, and some people kind of got triggered. In fact, it was probably my most disliked video ever, which isn't much. But some people didn't like the fact that Bunny's alive. Well, first you didn't like the fact that Bunny was dead, and now you don't like the fact that I'm saying Bunny may be alive. But she is alive, and I have proof, undeniable proof, and I'm going to show you that proof in this video, and you can think for yourself. But once you watch the end of this video, you're going to realize that I'm 100% right. I have 3 reasons that lead me to believe that Bunny is alive, and I'm going to go over those reasons in this video. Thank you for watching. Make sure you hit a like on this video and subscribe, turn on notification bells, because I have some more brain-teasing theories coming your way, especially about the relationship between Doggy and Wolfie. That video will be coming up next. So here are the reasons why I think Bunny is alive, and I can prove it. Reason number 1, I'm gonna just go into this map right here. You remember the shadow bunny that's at the top? Everybody says, oh my god, that must be a ghost. No, that's not a ghost. That's not a ghost. You have to think from a developer standpoint. There's only so many ways you can put a shadow of an image inside a dark room. You can build a transparent black model, or you can just paint it on the wall. But we couldn't paint it on the wall here because you couldn't see in this tall tower. So to have Bunny actually looking out the window as a live person, you had to put it as a shadowed black model. Number 2, it's not a ghost, and I'll tell you why. Because if you look behind me, ghosts are white, okay? He's very consistent with his skins. This is a white ghost, all right? Ghosts are not black, therefore it is not a ghost. It is a shadow that is a living Bunny. And why is Bunny here? That's going to lead me to my second reason. The second reason is Bunny is always in a spot where there seems to be a mass infection. And let's review some of the maps, and I'll show you that Bunny is always here when there is a mass infection. Now keep in mind, Mr. P only had 7 potions. He only infected 7 people, and he left us a note. I don't know what's going on, why these pigs are all infected, because I only had 7 potions. But as you know, as you play this game, especially when we get to this outpost, every soldier in here is infected, and it was way more than 7. And by the time we got to this point, there was already 7 pigs infected. So who infected all the rest of them? Well, let's see where all the mass infection were and who was there. Let's look at Outpost first. Everybody's infected. The only person alive that I believe is Bunny up in the tower. She's hiding. She's scared. Everything got infected. She had to get to high ground. So when we're playing this map, she's here looking down on us like, ha, noobs. So there she is, up there in the tower, just looking down at us, right above the helicopter where she wants to get out, because she came here looking for Mr. P or infected. I don't think she's chasing Mr. P like we are. I think we're on 2 different paths here. I think we're chasing Mr. P and she's chasing test subjects. So we'll go to another map and I'll show you the same instance where we find her. So when you start school, it says, I'm Mr. P and I need you to rescue my friend. And we don't know who that is before we started. So we're trying to rescue somebody here. There's been an infection, obviously, at the school. The teacher, we know, was infected. We don't know where all the students are, but we know this place has been pretty cleared out. And if you go around this map, you'll also see notes and clues about Bunny as well. I bet there's something else you didn't recognize. There was actually a certificate on the wall. But you really can't read the name. For dedicated and excellence. And we don't know what it's signed for. I'm not sure if that's Minitoon's personal thing, or was that something for the teacher or the principal or Mr. P. Not sure who that was signed by. It's quite curious what that certificate's for. Okay, so you got this book you got to get. And as soon as you get this book and you open this up, there's Bunny. Bro, why is Bunny alive here in a place that is mass infected? And you have a note. The search for survivors went bad. I'm now locked in this room with some crazy animals on the loose. Okay, looks like she's leaving a little FYI that, I didn't do anything. Nothing's been infected. So let me write a note in the same room that I'm at. That'll clear me. That'll make me look not guilty. The teacher was fine when she got here to rescue her. What happened? Sounds like a bunch of cover my guilt notes, if you ask me. Okay? Looks like Bunny is here. So Bunny's in a place that has been mass infected that Mr. P is not, because he radioed us at the beginning of this, telling us to go into school and rescue my friend Bunny. So right there, we know Bunny and Mr. P are actually working together. All right, he admits it on the radio. And he also admits by radioing that he's not here. So if Mr. P is the only one with 7 potions to test people on, how did the people in the school get infected? The only living person here that would have access to the potions is Bunny. So you can only conclude that the pigs that got infected were infected by Bunny. She is the only one that had access to the potions and is here and is still alive. She didn't get locked in here. She locked herself in here because she's experimenting on pigs without knowing what she's doing, and everybody's getting infected and they try and kill her. And somehow she's very good at surviving, I would say, by the crossbow. She's a pretty good survivor. So far, I'm not believing what you said, Bunny, in these notes. Why would you leave notes in the same room that you're at? And who are you leaving them for? And why is everybody infected? And the only one here that has access to the potions is you! You liar! And when you come to the classroom where the science teacher teaches, you see an empty bottle. You see the one empty bottle where the teacher got infected. And that's the only person that would have been here besides the kids going and running out and screaming. Then when you exit this map, you come out and you go through the sewers or the flooded and you see Bunny and Mr. P. Looks like you two made it out. That's right, Mr. P. Don't feel too well. Okay, so now all of a sudden I'm infected. The only person I was with was Bunny. Now look, Bunny's pushing me down the hospital. And then there's Doggy. Hang in there, Big Daddy. We're going to help you. Are you really going to help me or are you just trying to kill me? So at the beginning of hospital, the first thing you get here, you're finally up. Listen, it's not safe here. Not anymore. And the whole time, I guess she was here with us. How long was I out for? And she doesn't answer the question. She doesn't answer the question at all. And then Mr. P is waiting for us on the roof. Let's hurry. So obviously she's working with Mr. P. You can see that. And there's a mass infection that's going on at the hospital. Okay, way more than 7 piggies. And then we just leave her. And the first note you see here is subject has been hallucinating Officer Doggy. Doggy has been missing for weeks. So wait a minute. This note is talking about us laying there in the bed asleep, knocked out. We're a patient there. Says that we've been hallucinating Officer Doggy. I guess that's the doggy we saw coming in. I think this is another cover my guilt note. And the first question that comes to my mind, why are we being referred to as a subject? Why not a patient? Since when did we become a test subject? So the only person that we were around was Bunny. And then all of a sudden we felt sick. And now the note says we were a test subject and that we're hallucinating Officer Doggy. Were we really hallucinating Officer Doggy, or is he actually alive? And again, this proves Bunny's guilt. Bunny is the one that infected us because she thinks we are one of her test subjects. So at the hospital here, as you know by the notes that were left around, the only people that were supposed to be infected here with the 7 potions that Mr. P was given was the family, okay? They volunteered to help with testing. So how did the doctors and everybody else, the doctors, nurses, patients, and everybody else in this hospital get infected? There's a mass infection, and throughout this map, you see multiple beakers laying around. Not just, 4 or whatever. You see a lot of beakers, and Bunny's here all by herself, not infected. Why? I'll tell you why. Because Bunny infected him. And Mr. P didn't do the research, because you see the note here where it says Mr. P has graciously donated much to help research the cure. They don't have the cure yet. They're trying to find the cure through antibodies. He infected the test wood as soon as possible. Okay, so you understand, this was the research area. Everybody's talking about a lab. Well, the lab was the hospital. You see that through the multiple beakers left around and all the patients and all the test tubes. And then you come to the end scene here, and you're supposed to be meeting Mr. P on the roof, and you're here with Bunny. They left without us. And then you have that note, that infamous note on the ground on the outside that you're trying to read. I guess you were right. So Bunny's trying to convince you that Mr. P deserted us. And then Bunny, are you coming? And then Bunny is pausing. Bunny doesn't want to come. Yeah, coming. Sure, I'm coming. And then you see the note. Now everybody says, I have to do this for our own good, Mr. P. She's not talking to us. He's talking to Bunny. See, Mr. P's trying to ditch Bunny like Bunny's trying to ditch us because they're on two different paths of trying to figure out the cure. Then the beginning scene of the next chapter. We're almost out here. I just need to rest a little. All of a sudden, Bunny becomes lazy. Don't worry, Bunny, we're getting out of here. So Bunny's not going to help for some reason. Maybe she wants you dead. And then you try and escape this map. And then as you're playing the map, you come back and you see, wait, Bunny's just sitting there. Already doesn't feel good. Or maybe she's just being lazy. So when you finish the map, then you get this end scene. You jump in the train and you're like, Bunny, come on, man. The train's working now. Bunny, are you all right? Mr. P gave me a potion. I drank it. But you see no potion beaker around her. She's been sitting there the whole time. I didn't know what to do to turn me into. You can still come with me. We can find him. And then she starts arguing. She's like, no, you need to go without me. She's trying to get rid of you. And there's no beaker anywhere. There's no empty bottle. Go now. I'll hold these monsters off for as long as I can. So you're trying to figure out what, well, goodbye, Bunny. You're trying to figure out what she's talking about. There's nothing here. She's lying. She's lying to us right now. There's no beaker, and there was no beaker anywhere in the map either. So nobody got infected. I mean, think about it. Her eye's not turning red. There's no drips on her shirt. There's no beaker around her or anywhere in this map do you find a beaker, and most of Mr. P's 7 potions have been used up at this point, and Mr. P is nowhere to be found on the map. So who infected her? What did she drink? She couldn't have. There's no proof to back up what she's saying. She could only be lying to us at this point. She couldn't kill us with the formula because she tried to in a previous episode. I guess we're immune at this point, which leads us to a whole nother theory about how this game's going to end. So maybe and you could tell she's been trying to ditch us the whole time. So she couldn't ditch us, so now she's just going to fake that she's sick and argue with you to get on the train and get out of here. So have you ever thought about it? Maybe we're the cure. Maybe we're the one that's immune. She gave us the potion. We got sick, we passed out, but we didn't get infected and we didn't die. Maybe our blood, the human blood, is the antibody antidote or the cure. And maybe that's where Piggy Book 2 ends up in the final chapter. We find out that we're actually been the cure the entire time. So all these clues and everything lead me to believe one thing. The time that we were in the hospital, Bunny was walking around and working on stuff. You see multiple empty beakers, science equipment. You see science books. This can only lead me to one thing, that Bunny is actually the science pig that we've been hearing about. The person that made the formula is actually Bunny and is infecting everybody and gave Mr. P 7 of them so he could work on some test subjects himself. What brought this theory full circle for me was during the trailer when we saw the flash of Bunny, which was a static image from the communication tower right across in the other building that we see in the pony scene of her alive. I color enhanced it to see the blue dress, and yes, this is Bunny alive. And this is some kind of image of her, present or past, but completely alive. Brought me to think that this is another research facility that she's working out of now, that the hospital is completely destroyed and she can no longer work there, and she has all the test subjects, including Penny, which she's already experimented on Penny, as you saw in the end scene, the very last second of that clip, and you also saw a captured Zizzy. In conclusion, Bunny has been lying the whole time. Bunny has been behind everything. Bunny had tried to help Mr. P, but Bunny has an ulterior motive for making these formulas. And we're going to find out in Piggy Book 2. But Bunny is the scientist pig. If you like this video, make sure you leave a like, subscribe, turn on the notification bell, and I will see you on the next one. And when you're trying to figure out really crazy theories, stay lucky, peeps.